Welcome back, everyone. My name is Pritesh here with Kaizen Crypto. Today's video is all about NFTs. So we're seeing lots of hype, lots of buzz in the cryptocurrency space about non-fungible tokens. So here today to join us to talk about NFTs is Rich Kopcho. He is a Project Catalyst Fund 3 participant for the Comprehensive NFT Framework collaboration. So Rich, thanks so much for joining us. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. Great day. It's going to snow here in over the weekend.
Okay. Where are you calling in from today?
Feet. Oh, always warm, always sunny, always Colorado.
I love it. I love it. Warm, sunny Colorado. Sometimes warm. What is it? Always sunny. Sometimes Colorado.
Right.
Very cool. So it's about to snow over there. Is that right?
Yeah, we're being threatened with about 6 feet of snow.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. Well, I hope you guys stay warm. So
well, I usually like to get in the truck and drive up the mountain into Rocky Mountain National Park when it snows like that. It's just beautiful.
You know, I bet the mountains there in Colorado when it snows like that, it's probably just, you know, probably something out of a movie.
It's so peaceful. It's so nice. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. Well, Rich, I'm really excited to get a chance to talk with you. We're just going to have a great, easygoing conversation today. I wanted to talk a bit about your Catalyst proposal, maybe just giving us some information related to NFTs, and anything that you'd like to talk about as it relates to your project. So I guess to get things started, we know that you're calling in from Colorado. Could you tell us a little bit about your background?
Sure. So I'm an entrepreneur, been one through about 18 different projects. And a couple of those projects have let me retire. So I've retired about 3 times now, and I'm back at it with a new company called SDK. We built a venture studio in Laramie called Load Venture Studio. And the reason we did that is, I don't know if you realize, but I produced the Wyoming hackathon for the last 3 years. We're going on our 4th. And one of the ideas behind that was we're going to help create new businesses around crypto in Wyoming. And people won the hackathon, but no businesses were getting started. So we decided, hey, we'll just set up a venture studio and we'll create some.
Okay, very cool. So Wyoming hackathon. So I didn't know that that was something that you were in charge of. So that's really interesting.
Yeah, well, I'm not in charge. I'm just a slave to it.
I see what you did there. Okay, very cool. So I guess, have you seen, I guess just from being part of it since it started, I mean, have you seen the growth, you know, with the participation there? I mean, like, what's that been like?
Oh, it's been crazy. You know, it started out the first year. How I got involved in it is, you know, the crypto laws got started, and I was asked to help around the middle of July, and the hackathon was going to start the first week of September. So I had a month and a half, 0 participants to over 400 in that first year. I owe a lot to my friend who's a growth hacker. He's Jaron Hines. He helps me with the growth hacking piece. He's also a crypto guy, and he's actually the one that's got me interested in NFTs.
Nice. That's really awesome. I know it's, I guess from a broader sense too, you know, just to see the amount of interest that's coming into the space now. And, you know, just what we're seeing, especially since we're talking about NFTs today, I guess that kind of leads us to my next question is going to be, what interests you most about NFTs?
Just the flexibility of them. And you know, we're on the precipice of a new economy, right? And there is so many things, so many use cases for NFTs. It just boggles your mind. And you just can't wrap your head around every use case. But you can certainly see, you know, how the world will change with the basis of NFTs. I started a project a couple of years ago with a few guys around liquidity in the real estate market, right? And it was about being able to fractionalize some real estate and so forth. and you can see how NFTs plays in that space. You can see how, the hype right now is about the art world, and some major things being sold by NFT that way. But there's a lot of use cases. That's what fascinates me about it.
Yeah, completely agree. I was just looking at some of the news today, and I saw one of these pieces of artwork. I guess that's definitely the craze right now, sold for something like $69 million, or, just something ridiculous like that. But to your point, as far as what's possible, definitely, tokenized real estate, other assets, it's really amazing to think about. You can tokenize equities to a company. It's just really cool. It's really cool.
Yeah, that's really the draw, is the multifaceted use cases, and actually the thing that really got me thinking about it is some things that Jaron was doing. He runs a gaming company, and one of the hackathons that we did, it was 2019. We focused it around gaming, and we did some cool stuff about the NFTs in the gaming world.
Very cool. Well, that's awesome. So now you guys have a Catalyst proposal.
Yeah. So my interest has been around the Cardano blockchain for a couple of years. Having Charles come out to the hackathon and making presentations, and they're the ones that have been actually the most organized when you ask for businesses to bring a challenge to a hackathon. Cardano and IOHK have been spot on in terms of how diligent they were about what they're going to propose, what their workshops are. And it just really impressed me deeply how thoughtful they are about everything. And so the Catalyst stuff, I wasn't able to participate in Fund 1 and Fund 2 because that was right in the middle of me planning the hackathon. August from Fund 1, and Fund 2 was in October. I wasn't really able to, but what we did do for Fund 2 is we put our hackathon winners that were doing the Cardano challenges, we put them into Catalyst. That was one of the requirements, is that they had to go into the Catalyst program. And so Liquid, actually, DC won the hackathon, and Len did with FunTrack, right? And so they went into the Catalyst program in Fund 2 and both got funded in there, right? So it's kind of interesting. That's how I started my relationship with the Catalyst program. And then I realized that, they need a lot of help. It's an experiment. So I'm going to jump in and participate. And so I put ideas in all of the categories. I then put proposals in all of the categories. And this particular one, since I had a love for the NFT space, seemed to catch on with a lot of people. It resonated. And so, that's what we do in a venture studio, is we test markets, we test responses and so forth. We build startups, right? And so really we're as if building this startup inside of Catalyst.
That's really cool. That's really cool. So you've been there from the start as well. And yeah, I saw DC, they won that YO hackathon. They got funded in Fund 2. So nice to see you guys. Now here we are, Fund 3. So really hoping for the best there with your proposal. I was actually taking a look at it, and I really resonate with some of the key points that you mentioned there. I mean, of course, I'm a big fan of artwork. So, just to see something like that available for people who want to build on Cardano. So your problem statement states that 42 Catalyst proposals address NFT point solutions, but we lack an overarching dApp strategy to dominate as the de facto NFT platform of choice. So I guess, could you just expand a bit on that? Kind of tell us what you mean by a de facto platform?
Sure. So that was really what was striking me. Remember, I just joined the experiment, right? I joined the Catalyst experiment and said, okay, they want ideas and so forth. So when I got to the dApp side, I thought about, well, what could we use there? And so I started looking at what everybody else is proposing. And that's when I realized that there's traction around NFTs and people really want to do that. But it also made it clear to me that 42 projects are not going to get funded, and all of them are pretty much have to build the infrastructure and then build the business model on top of it. And so it, just being the kind of guy that I am, a process-oriented guy and building businesses, it only makes sense to build it once and then let everybody use it, right? And so I started with that premise, with that hypothesis, and it sure caught on. And the idea is really build this thing once, build the penultimate thing, because if you can pool all these resources to build it, then you're going to have the best of the best, and we can all share it. It's a community.
Yeah, that's really awesome. I think it kind of, I guess, goes into the ethos that we see with a lot of these other cryptocurrencies in general, like Cardano. It's an open source protocol. I guess anybody can kind of take ideas and use what's going to work for them. So I really like the thought process behind it. And I was checking out the website too. So Rich, maybe if you could just help me better understand what you mean by this term. So I noticed that you termed something called boxcar. And I'm really curious to know, what exactly is boxcar?
Sure. So the way we think about this, or at least the way we can explain it to people, is Cardano is the rails, right? They have put a lot of work into having a solid blockchain. And so we think of that as these rails that you can build on top of. It's a financial operating system. Well, people want to build businesses on it. So how do you do that? Well, the boxcar rides on these rails, and it is a container. It can contain almost anything. So any NFT business can be built on top of it. So we see that in a boxcar, you can put coal, or you can put rice, or you can put vegetables, right? And so whatever it is, that is the container. And so that's what we're talking about building this framework, the scaffolding, this boxcar that anybody can build a business on top of. And then these 42 proposals, they can use that boxcar as the underpinnings of, and then they don't have to spend all their resources building that out again, just build their business model on top of it. That's the thought process.
Okay, I really like that. That makes a lot of sense to me now. So you guys are pretty much building the framework that's necessary for these devs, pretty much giving them the tools so that they don't have to start from scratch.
Yeah, that's the plan. Yeah.
Okay, I like that. That makes a lot of sense to me. So now the platform, I guess, so we're talking about is NFT DAO. So something like this, I mean, as far as from a platform standpoint, how would that be different from something like what we see with Rarible, or, there's OpenSea or other platforms such as that?
Yep. So Rarible is actually a DAO as well at this point. They've recently pivoted their business model that way. OpenSea is a place that a lot of people can connect to, and different blockchains can connect to it and sell their stuff there. We could do the same thing, right? It's just a matter of integration. But what's different is the kind of the model that we're looking at is more like standalone, like maybe the Flow blockchain, FLOW, that the Dapper Labs is building, right? But unfortunately, theirs is their own kind of blockchain. We want it on a $30 to $40 billion infrastructure rather than a $10 million infrastructure. Right. And so the difference is that this would be native to Cardano and not something that's been ported over using the KEVM or anything like that. Because as Charles mentioned, do you really want your crazy uncle at the wedding?
I love it. That makes perfect sense. That's a no-go for me.
We definitely want to build it in a way that the ERC20 converter and the 721 converter is when that's available, we can pull over the liquidity from those markets, right? NFTs migrate over. So there's a lot of thought that's being put into how we interact with the different chains. And to that point, we started working in our Fund 4 proposal before we even we're not even funded yet for Fund 3. We don't even know if we will be funded, but we're going ahead anyway. Right. So Fund 4, we started engaging with Mutual Knowledge with their Glow language. Hopefully we'll be able to be building better tools faster, and then that opens up the liquidity over at the ETH markets, right, to drag it over. So we've got some long range plans to make this ongoing concern. So you mentioned about the DAO. My background, of course, is in Holonics. I taught that to manufacturers for a while, but we also have a PhD student that's Troy out of New Zealand, whose whole focus in his thesis is around these social systems, right? And so we've got a lot of horsepower thinking about governance and so forth. And everything we're doing, we're really emulating. We're like a mini Catalyst, right? We're also like a mini Cardano, where governance is the big topic right now. It's the same in the NFT DAO. How do we do governance correctly and so forth, right? And how do we have participation amongst everyone who's contributing? So it's really a big experiment, and then we're happy to be part of it.
Yeah, no doubt. You touched on quite a few points there. So yeah, I mean, going back to the tooling. So you guys are partnering with Mutual Knowledge for Glow. So Glow, correct me if I'm wrong, Rich, Glow is like a DSL, right? So you're going to be able to have, I guess, whatever's built as far as the framework for your platform native to the blockchain, like for Cardano. And then as far as from an interoperability standpoint, just being able to use the tooling there to migrate some things over from Ethereum over to Cardano when the time comes. Is that, exactly. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yep. We're trying to build out the boxcar as completely native, but then there's got to be a lot of tools like in the developer ecosystem that allows them to easily transition. And so we're building stuff. We're going through that thought process for Fund 4 with the Glow folks, with Francois.
Okay, I gotcha. That's awesome. So it's a lot. It's very cool to see all that. So I did want to also ask you, because I know, we were talking earlier about Charles and, from the things we've been seeing from IOG, just the strong interest overall with NFTs in cryptocurrency. So now just want to put this out there. If you can't disclose any information, completely understand. But does your team have any plans in the future to collaborate with IOG on something like this?
Yes, definitely. Yep. Yeah, no, we've been talking with IOG, we've been talking with Mutual Knowledge and a few other developer communities in order to, the idea is to make the best possible solution, right? And so, yes, we've been talking to the professional services folks about making sure that whatever we build really makes sense in the ecosystem, and that, that a lot of stuff that's going on over there, make sure that it's going to marry in really well.
Nice.
There's a lot of pieces and parts to this, and for everything that's that's open to the rest of the world to know about, we want to make sure that we are making good connections there.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I feel like just from all the things that you were describing, I mean, there's a lot of smart people that are going to be working on this.
Yeah, some way smarter than me. I'm really, really impressed with, we started this with just a seed of an idea, right? And immediately one of the guys joined us. He abandoned his project, which was an NFT project, abandoned it to join us. Another guy did the same thing and joined us. A few more came on, and before you know it, we've got 120 something people now in our Discord that are clamoring around every little bit of this thing. There are people working on metadata standards. There are people working on logos and branding. There are people who are just artists that are preparing artwork to go up on the platform as soon as it's live. So it's a hub of activity.
Wow, that's exciting. That is really cool. So I guess we were talking about what you guys are doing with your proposal. So now you've went ahead, you've already applied for Fund 4. You guys are in the works for Fund 3. So I guess, hoping for the best that you guys get funded with Fund 3. What would you say are your primary goals for each specific funding round?
Yep. So Fund 3 should get us all of the design specifications, everything that we want to build. And we're actually stretching and hoping we'll get the MVP done in Fund 3, and then extending that in Fund 4 with more tools. And the thing we're focusing on first is the template for artwork, because that seems to resonate the most with the people who are talking about it right now. And because we had some people join us from different projects that were working on art, they're joining us with use cases and user stories that'll help us build out some of the requirements that they need for art. But that's one template. And so in the next instantiation in Fund 4, we'll be able to build out a whole bunch more templates for different kinds of things. Think about insurance, right? How do you do NFT insurance, right? What do we need for the boxcar to make that contractual relationship work? And then we've got a secret weapon when it comes to Plutus. We have Finley. Finley,
okay.
Finley works in the IOG lab at UW. He's a PhD student. He won my hackathon 2 years in a row, one for the Plutus extension, one for the Marlowe thing. And so he's when it comes down to like Plutus coding, he's our guy, and he's like the guy who sat at the feet of Gamaliel, right? He worked with Michael Peyton Jones when he was out in Wyoming 2 years ago, and they did the workshops. And we all know Michael's relationship to his father and Haskell, right? And so Finley is really coming up to speed on exactly how to do all of that stuff for us, and he'll be our Plutus expert.
Wow. I'm really excited about all that. You guys have quite the team. You've got the roadmap kind of planned out. So, man, this is just really cool to learn about.
Yeah, we just need funding. We just need votes. Vote for us.
There you go. There you go, guys. So I guess with that, where can the Cardano community learn more about what you're trying to do with NFT DAO? How can they support you?
Oh, perfect. Yeah, how they can support us is go to the NFT DAO, so NFT-DAO.org. And as you scroll down to the bottom, there's a little Discord button. Hit the Discord, join us in the Discord. There's all kinds of activity going on. We've got a bunch of stake pool operators that are helping us now in terms of, getting the word out about what we're doing. So that's how you can help is, tell all your friends that we need votes and vote for us.
There you go. 2 thumbs up.
We've actually had people offer us just to give us the money that we're asking for, but we don't really have a means to do that at this point. So, the whole experiment is interesting to watch how it will unfold as well. So you kind of want to go through that process too. And there's the ups and downs of, are we going to get funded? Are we going to wait, we didn't get funded. What?
I guess that process makes it a little bit more interesting, right?
It's a big experiment. And I think that by doing this hands-on, these 120 plus people are actually really seeing how to build a decentralized organization at the same time. And it's just a wonderful experiment when they start talking about it as their DAO and so forth. It's really cool.
It certainly very is. So folks, Rich Kopcho with the Project Catalyst Fund 3 proposal for the Comprehensive NFT Framework. Rich, I really enjoyed our conversation today. Before we wrap up, was there any last minute remarks for our audience?
Thank you so much for your support. Please vote for us. What else can I say, right?
Very cool. Very cool. All right,
Oh, and
Rich.
by the way, come to the WYO Hackathon. It's going to be the weekend of September 25th, 2021.
That would be a great way to be able to meet up with some Cardano fans for sure.
Definitely, yeah. We had 97 countries last year. We did it virtually. We'll still do it virtually again this year, but it'll be in person and virtual, COVID willing. You know, if we can chase Rona down the road.
Very true. Very true. I think a lot of travel is contingent on that. So for sure.
Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, Rich. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much. And all the best to you for your proposal.
Appreciate it.
Awesome.
Thanks for having us on.
Thanks so much. Take care.
Cheers.